Well, News 4 is your local election headquarters, and the Erie and Niagara County Republican parties are standing behind West Seneca Town Supervisor Gary Dickson for the upcoming special election for Congress. They endorsed him yesterday.
He joins us now to talk more about why he is vying for New York's 26th congressional district. Gary, thank you so much for being here this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, why throw your hat in the ring?
Well, I think the people need to have a choice. This is not the coronation of Tim Kennedy. This is an election, and I think he deserves to have a good candidate opposing him. And I think, based on my experience professionally and in West Seneca, I think I'd make a good congressman.
You have been on our air many times because you have been a longtime representative of West Seneca. Give us your background, Gary. Tell the folks who might be living in the 26 beyond West Seneca who you are.
Sure. I grew up in Los Angeles, and when I was 19, I joined the Army, and I was an enlisted soldier, and I was there for 6 years. After the Army, I finished my degree and became an FBI agent. I was an FBI agent for 27 years, serving in New Jersey, serving overseas, and serving at headquarters, investigating all sorts of crimes and managing all sorts of cases. When I retired in 2015, I was working in some banks in anti-money laundering. And my wife and I moved to West Seneca, and I started going to town board meetings and was just outraged how the public was being treated and how the finances were going. And I think, that's what got me into politics in the first place.
And I wanted you to explain that because I think you have a very different approach to politics than a lot of people, particularly those in New York State. You are not a career politician. You've already had your career. How important do you think it is to you, being the leader of West Seneca, the town supervisor, that you kind of started from the bottom? That is, going to meetings and learning the issues and then standing up for those issues.
I think it's very important. And, one of the first things I did was talk to people who had been doing that for many, many years and hearing what their concerns are and what the history was. And then I looked around and said, okay, well, who's going to run against these people? And they said, you are.
So looking at your background, veteran, FBI, local official, what from that would you bring to the 26th district?
So first of all, my Army service and my service in law enforcement it's all about service, and it's about defending and protecting the innocent or the vulnerable. I think a lot of people get into law enforcement because they want to right a wrong. They see things are not going well, and they want to be part of the solution. And I would hate to go through my life and not feel I was making things a little bit better when I left than they were when I came. So I think experience in local politics is very, very useful. It's the lowest possible political relationship to the public. You have to meet with them, you have to talk to them, you have to listen to them, you bump into them in the grocery store, and if you're not doing what they want, they tell you. And you also learn that not everybody agrees. And so there's people that want one thing, there's people that want another. And you have to figure out a way to come up with a solution that, if not making everybody happy, at least is something that's fair.
We often have candidates, and many of the districts they represent, be it at the state level or the federal level. In New York State, of course, so many of them are heavily Democratic, as is, of course, the 26th district. One of the reasons why Brian Higgins was there for 19 years, of course. You are a Republican. Also, a very Democratic area was West Seneca. Do you find the success in West Seneca, do you hope it equates to success in the 26th?
I think it's entirely transferable, because it's all about giving people, as I like to say, the best services at the lowest possible cost. It's all about good government. It's about listening to the public. It's about transparency. And at the end of the day, everybody wants that. Democrats want that. Republicans want that. Everybody wants that. And, we stay on the town board of West Seneca. We stay away from drama. We just try to do things. We stick to our knitting. We make things better for West Seneca.
Before we let you go, let's talk campaign. What will your focus be in the coming months?
Yeah. Well, the three big issues are taxes, crime, and migration. That's what everybody's interested in. And I think, I have kind of the chops to show that I've already been addressing many of those things. taxes. We haven't raised a residence town tax bill in West Seneca in 4 years. So we definitely are very attuned to the problems that people have with taxes. And good government. You know, I'm for term limits at all levels. And we put in term limits in West Seneca. And in fact, I'm on my last term. And I think that's only right. Not everybody has the answer. People need to rotate through and let other people have a shot.
Gary Dickson is the town of West Seneca supervisor right now and also a candidate for the 26th district. Gary, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, sending it back now to Mike for another check of the forecast. Mike, what are we...